name and so forth, and then you open up Maya. The first time you need to load the plugin. So you open up your window, settings, preferences, plugin manager. Okay? That will open up this window here. Then you need to scroll down. It's down towards the end. And in here, just click the Apply to All Load button here. What that will do is it will force the load. Now I already have it loaded, so it'll do a little bit of blah blah. Then close it. And you should have this shelf here. Once that shelf is ready, you don't need to go back to the plugin manager ever again. You can just click this little icon of a puzzle thing. Yes. So when you click that, it will load the plugin. You can see that the plugin is loaded by you getting a renderman menu. And also, if you open your render settings, it will say renderman. It will automatically activate that. All right? Okay, so now I have renderman up and running. If I click render now, I will get a very boring scene. It will first of all just cache it and then open it up in this IT, which is Pixar's render window. See, everything is very black. There's two reasons for this. Number one, renderman does not use normal Maya lights. It only uses its own lights. And secondly, it wants new materials. So I can start out by just deleting these lights. Yeah, and if I then click render again, see, this is really black. It will create an automatic light for me for my first render here. So you can see now I get an automatic map or an automatic light. But it's also quite gray, and that's because the way renderman works is that if the materials assigned to the object is not their own, it will just give it a gray material. So I'll start out by adding the lights. Just go here, set it to 5, turn off lights, and then I'll create a renderman light. I can either go to the renderman menu and say lights, or I can just click on the shelf here. In renderman there's essentially just one normal light, that is the standard area light. Then there is the option of creating an environment light, either using a panorama map, we'll look at that a little later, or using a daylight lighting scheme. So it will create like a special type of light where you can type in it's 4 o'clock somewhere in the world, and it will try to recreate the light at that time at that position. And the final thing is called a mesh light, where you can make an object emit light. So for instance, if you're doing something like a neon sign, then you would be able to use that to make the neon shape emit light. I'll just use the standard area light, so I create that. Just zoom out, move that up here. And you can see that it has the shape of a little square. Move it out here. And then I can rotate it so that it points in that direction. I can also use the same method as before, select it and go look through selected. And then I can sort of arrange it. And you can see if I press 7, it will not show any lights, so that doesn't work. Need to hold it at the non-lit version. So I go back to my perspective and we can look at the light. So right now it's a square. That's the default. Press F to frame it. But in the light settings on the right, you have options of creating different light shapes. So it can be a rectangle like it is now, a disc, sphere, a cylinder, a distant, which is like a directional light in Maya. So if I choose that, it will just make like sunlight rays, or I can make it as a spotlight. So you can see each of these has a different icon that represents what the light looks like. So there's one light you choose and then you can configure it. So that's a bit different from the way Maya does it normally. I'll just leave it at the rectangle light right now. And let's see, we'll just try and render this scene. So there we go, you can see it's a little bit darker now. I can also just turn up the exposure to make it brighter. So if I turn it up and click render again, I get something that is quite bright. So this can be a little tricky to adjust. I can click this stop sign to stop it. And then if I use the IPR button up here, it will start rendering from the center out, and then I can start tweaking the light until I get something I like. And this should be the orange light. Something like that. That's pretty good. Just stop it. And then I'll create another light. Yeah. Move it out here and to the side and maybe up a little bit. And then rotate it around so that it's pointing in the right direction. And then look through selected. And I'll just try to position this so that it gives me a little bit of light, like so. Maybe there. And space, click Maya, perspective. Oh. There we go. So I'll just try an IPR render this again. So you can see now I have this coming from the side. I'll make this slightly blue. And maybe change the exposure a little bit. Something like this. A little bit more. There. And I'll just stop it. And then I could create the final light behind. I'll just leave it at this. This is fine. The next thing is I'll start making materials for this. And there is a couple of different materials. They are in the renderman menu. So there's a constant, Disney, etc. For this I'll just use the Disney material. That is this little blue ball up here. So that can be used for a lot of different things. The only thing it cannot do is glass and transparent objects. If you want to make something look like glass, you need to go up here and choose the glass material. It's the only thing that can do transparency. Okay, but I'll show you quickly how I can use the Disney shader for something like this. Choose the backdrop, the cloth here. Assign the Disney shader. I can choose a color I like on my own, like so, maybe a little darker. What I can also do is I can go to this presets button, and there's a couple of different presets. So I can say maybe velvet, replace. So I get this blue velvet, and I might want it to be more purple colored. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks. That looks sort of nice. Good. Then I'll go to the banana, actually both of them, and I will apply that. So now I have two blue bananas. Yeah, looking good. So this is one of the places where I can use a little trick. If I open up my material editor, Hypershade, I still have all of the old materials. So if I just make this slightly smaller here. So I still have all of the old materials, so I guess, is this one the banana? Yeah, it looks like This is the banana. There. So this is my banana material. And this is my blue banana material. So I can take this banana texture and then just middle mouse button drag it up here. It's important that you use the middle mouse button. If you use the left mouse button, you're just moving it around. It has to be middle mouse button. So that one, you could also get it from textures here. Middle mouse button drag onto there. And now I should have something that look more banana-like. Yep, good. And then I'll go over the rest of them the same way. This one, also one of these. Open up the texture editor, and that should be the pear one. And this one, and that should be the apple one. Ooh. Apple one, good. This one, just go up there. Ooh, that was too much. There. 1, 2. And this one I want to make it like a green thing, like so. Maybe have it a little more roughness on the shiny part. And I can assign that to these as well. So just go up twice there and right click this and go assign existing Disney 5. This one should be a nice red color, maybe a little darker than that, something like that. Do the same thing for this, assign existing. I need to fix the plate there. And I think there's actually a preset called ceramic. So there we go. And then I need these at the back. Arrow up. Disney. Make that darkish purple. Maybe give it a little bit of roughness as well. Like so. I think this was almost, oh no, the orange, of course. There. Make that green.
That's not an orange color, that's almost yellow.
Wait and see. So there. I forgot the leaf, but you get the idea. So this is just a quick introduction to how you would you set it up to render in renderman. It's a lot of things are the same, and some things are different. What? Yes, exactly. So I will stop this.